Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this episode 21 of the Author Intended Challenge here on BallySpring with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, you can see it's another beautiful sunrise here on BallySpring. Never disappoints. You can also see our grass here is ready to be harvested, and that's pretty much all we have going on this month, except for a couple exceptions that we'll go into here in a little bit. But first, to bring you up to speed on our harvesting from last month, of course, you were along for the corn harvest, which we turned into silage. There's our little sheepies. I did complete the sugar beet harvest on the hill. That's actually on the field, I should say, just down over the hill there. We got 274,000 liters of sugar beets off that field, and we put that in a silo at the pig farm. And our BGA takes 364,000 liters of sugar beets a year, or can process that much. So we're a little bit short. Most of that shortfall I think we can make up out of our greenhouse, but right now I have the greenhouse on distributing. I'm just we've got loose or excuse me, while we have our other sugar beets, I'm just getting a little bit ahead on our sugar production. Now if we take a look at the map here, you will see our farm has expanded a little bit. I bought, this actually came as a group, this group of fields here, 67, 68, and 69 there, 70, 71. So that little group around the Southern Cow Farm, and this group of fields here, and some fields in here. Now, the reason I did that was based on the data from the end of the quarter. We weren't gaining very much on our cattle feed, and of course we are basically only of a third of the way there. So I cleaned out all the coffers, so we're down to our last $500,000. Things have changed, and I bought all that land. And actually, let's take a drive while we talk about this here, and I'll show you a few things. And what I did is I combined the fields. So if we go in this field here, for example, this off to our right and right where we are now was all together. But I bought the fields over here and I took out the hedges and the trees, so we have one large field. I also did something similar. We'll just go down the road here. I did this for two reasons, basically. One, we're not going to change the equipment we're using, but we are going to change the method that we're using a little bit for making silage. So that was one reason. And the other reason is I'm still getting a fair number of game crashes. And in here, we combined that field with that ran north-south with these ones that run east-west to make one large field. Yes, so we've got a lot of equipment on here. Our slot count's pretty high, and I was thinking that maybe if we got rid of some of the hedges, because the hedges on this map count as trees. Like, I wanted to put trees down and I couldn't add any more trees, so I've cleaned out a bunch of the hedges, hoping that maybe it'll help. The PS5 won't be so taxed. But mostly it was because I wanted to change the way we were doing the silage just to be more efficient. So there's a group of 3 fields here that I combined. I'll just get in front of these trees so you can see. So the 3 fields that were there were combined into one field. I also bought a field here adjacent to our corn field. Now I was originally thinking of buying this field immediately to my right, but it comes with a farm. I didn't want another farmyard, so I bought this field here. It's not makes this a kind of an L-shaped cornfield, but we should get, now I would think, 1,000,000 liters of chaff off of here, and that'll be about a third of what our BGA requires. We've got the equipment. We can take chaff off pretty quickly. It didn't take us too long, so I thought that we would go ahead and we'd do that. So now I haven't prepped the cornfield, nor did I prep the sugar beet field, basically just for that reason. I'll get the hay off of here, or the grass off here I should say, and then we'll prep this as one large field. So I left the sugar beet as one as well. I thought we might just as well do them all at the same time. Now stop here for a second. I'll take a look at the map. So I did the same thing here with this group of fields. 112, 113, 114. So that's all one field now, including this little one, 109. Actually, you know what? We'll leave this truck here. I'll meet you down there and I'll show you what I did there. So I'll catch up with you at the cow farm in just 1 second. Okay, we're down here at our southern cow farm. You may not recall, but this was just one small little field here, and I was actually coming through here using this entrance because of the brick walls at the main marked farm entrance, where the corner was just difficult to make with almost all of our equipment. So I just opened this all up in here now. So this is that section I showed you, but I incorporated this small field here, so now we can get in and out, and it's worthwhile mowing. There's another small field I did something very similar with right here, 157, but this field down here, 193, I could not do anything. So going forward, we probably won't bother processing the grass on that small field behind our middle cow farm there. It's just not worth it. Anyways, so that's what I thought I would show you quickly. Now let's head back to our other vehicle. I'll see you there. All right, we'll head back up to our sheep farm here. One other thing I want to show you along a similar vein. And you can see we have nice wide entrances, so we can get in and work these fields pretty easily, I think. But those I had done previously. I actually didn't, with these field modifications, I actually didn't have to do anything to any of the entrances. Now I haven't done any of the chores this morning. That still needs to be done. When I went down and checked, our silage was at 98% fermented in our bunker, so I'm hoping by the time we do a couple other things that will be done, and I can show you how we're going to get the silage out of there. Okay, so now here's another block of fields that I put together, and as you may recall, just off to our right was a small grass field that ran along this hedge here. You can see now it's all opened up into one big field. This is how we're going to do our silage. I'm going to pull the baler right behind the big M. remember when we purchased this, I said that this modded Big M had the hookups to run equipment off the back. Now, I haven't been doing that on this map. I actually haven't used this exact combination before, but I have used other balers behind it and it seemed to work fine. But I think on this map getting around might be a little bit tricky with this setup because of the rear steer. I might need to take the baler to the field with another tractor. But now with these large fields, without having to worry about all those hedges that we have to work around, we should be able to process this grass quite a bit quicker, just be more efficient. And obviously it saves one pass. And because we opened all these fields up in this little area here, we now have a way that we can get between our two farms without having to go down the main road. We can come just down this little track right here. Hang a right. Hang a left. And then straight ahead is our northern cow farm. So that's kind of handy, so we don't have to go out and around on the road. They're actually joined up. And these couple fields over here I joined just in front. There were two fields there. And then if we look, I grabbed, where is it here? Right here. I said we needed a couple more crop fields. Well, this should probably, or does have good soil on it. I grabbed that one. And I grabbed this little crop field right here. So I had mentioned we wanted a couple more, so we've got those as well. So I'm not planning, I don't think I'm going to add any more land now. We'll feed the animals as best we can with the land we have. And then if, when it comes to it, we'll just buy the feed in from there. So let me get turned around here. Actually, there's no fence here. I should be able to swing in here. I'll head back and let's do a little baling with our new setup. Like I said, same gear, we're just using it a little differently. It will save one pass and basically, you know, cuts a third of the time out of the silage making process. And we've got a fair number of additional fields now that we need to process. But it really should jump us ahead, I'm hoping, in silage production. And I don't think we'll get far enough ahead that we'll be able to go without buying feed, but it'll certainly prolong it, I'm hoping. And I hope I haven't bitten off more than I can chew as far as being able to get all the work done, but should go pretty quickly, I think. I'm just going to park this up here and we'll head into the Big M and we'll give it a try. This field right here I'm going to make hay out of for the sheep. So that's what the plan is, because we do need a little bit more hay. We can jump the hedge. There we go. Now, I don't plan on showing you a whole bunch of this, just enough so you can see it. And then we'll go and do some field prep, because I got something to show you there. It's just a little bit different. Just something I do to make my life a little easier. Well, you can see the new mown grass texture there. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about getting too close to these hedges and buildings and that. Try not to get hung up, he says, as he gets hung up immediately. so that we can just whip along and get this done as quickly as we can. Boy, that's a tight corner. Oh my goodness. There, we made it that time. Nice thing about the quick bale, it'll pick that up no problem at all. You know what, we're going to just scoot right across here. Now we're limited in speed a little bit because of the baler, because 15 is its max speed, and the Big M will do like 22 or something like that. Now we could get around that if we jumped in and got the quick bale, then we'd scoot across. And I might do that actually, because I just need to reduce the amount of off-camera time I have getting this stuff done. So I've looked, and we're getting very well. The Royal We are getting very close to 500 hours on this map already. That's crazy. It's definitely a record for me. Did I turn soon enough that time? Not quite. Goodness. Now I left all the hedges along the roads and around the outside of our fields, any fences or hedges and trees. Of course, we did lose a few trees, not a lot. I bet you not even 20 trees that we actually took out, mostly hedges. But like I said, I'm really hoping that it will help with the game crashes, because they seem to be getting worse as I put more and more stuff on the map. Now the animals, as they increase in number, really doesn't matter because the engine only draws so many in, but I'm thinking that with the high slot count and all the trees, that maybe that's what was causing us problems. Now I have turned weeds off, so we don't have weeds to deal with anymore. Although the weed texture has stayed on the field. That has not gone, just like the snow. But as we work our fields, I'm sure that weed texture will disappear. But none of our fields show that they have any weeds or anything in them. Now I'm thinking for picking these bales up, might upgrade our trailer too. What I'm thinking, if there is a Flegel bale trailer, an auto-load bale trailer that you pull with a truck or a lorry, and I think we'll give that a go for at least the fields we can get it in, because it holds quite a few more bales. So we'll use that to run around, pick these up, just to, like I said, just to speed things up. Now there might be the odd field here and there, grass field, that we could take and combine into a larger field, but so I may pick up something like that, but we're certainly not going to be doing any more big land grabs, and I don't think we'll be doing any more arable. We'll just do what we can do as far as creating our own feed, and then we'll just buy in after that. I can't think of any more equipment we need to buy. I did add a couple pieces that I'll show you when we get around to it here in a little bit. Nothing really expensive. So I think all our expensive equipment purchases are done. So from now on we can just let the money accumulate. And that way we'll have whatever we need for feed. And you know, it's not only the grass work, like this part of the grass work, that having these larger fields will help. But when it comes to liming and mulching and that, just not having to go in and out of small fields and dealing with hedges around those fields and getting hung up, it should all go a little bit quicker. Oh, there's a little spot that I could have put some grass in. I took wherever the approaches were in little patches like that, I tried to put grass over them to make it a continuous field. The only thing I didn't do that I've done on some of the other fields I put together is where the hedges were, I didn't bother plowing out. So it made a continuous field. Like if you look here, like 182 and 183, you can't see the boundary anymore because where the hedge was, I gave it a quick plow. But on like these fields that are all together here, you can still see where the hedges were. I just was doing so much of it, I just so it looked like a one solid field on the map, I couldn't be bothered. It took a little while to put all these fields together. It was a lot of chainsaw hedges. And I just wanted to keep things moving, because it probably would have taken me a couple, 3 more hours, if not more, to take and just get rid of those little areas to make it seem like a seamless one giant field on the map. That's what I'm trying to avoid doing, because that wastes a lot of time when you do that, for not very much grass. And you know, put all those little fields with those hedges, and you keep doing that. Wastes a lot of time. All the pens, cattle pens, and the pig pen too are behaving the same way. They're generating manure, lots of it, but it's just all in the pen. None of it's spawning to the manure heap. So no change there. And there was another, since we were together, there was another map update that came out, and I did do that one. That one didn't require a game save. So we're 100% up to date. Now what I'm thinking on here, like for sure, we won't see it till spring, till we start putting crops in. But I think we might go to like, move to like a quarterly. We'll do the quarterly update, show a little bit of what's going on, because really now I just don't think there's going to be a lot of difference, other than the few custom crops that we have to deal with. So I would certainly show that, but there's nothing new on the production side. There's nothing but making animal food. How much of that do you want to sit and watch over and over again? We'll just go back this way. This quick bale works excellent for this type of setup because of the wide pickup it has on it. You end up leaving nothing behind. With a regular baler, you have to be a little careful about the sharp corners and that when you're doing this. You leave a whole bunch behind. Now I haven't sold our milk or anything yet, so our money will go up from that, but that is all our fertilizer's been sold. I've actually been able to sell a little bit of wool now because sheep are making more than enough to keep our spinneries running. So there's a little extra. Doesn't amount to a whole lot. I think it was like $4,000 worth of wool last month, so it wasn't a huge amount, but every little bit helps. But we'll have some slurry that we can use to turn to fertilizer, and we certainly have some milk to sell. Well, I should actually check the time because see how long we've been doing this. Oh yeah, if we're going to do some other things, better stop there. So we'll just finish up this last little patch. Oh, look at that, there's some snow laying there. When I mulch this field, that'll get rid of that snow. Alright, we'll leave this there for now, and we'll pick this up in a second. Want to do some mulching, so I'll catch up with you in just a minute. Well, as usual, I have talked longer than I thought, but this is what I wanted to show you. I do this sometimes, is I'll grab a small mulcher, and I'll just go around the outside of the field like this, because I'm bad for wanting to get like as close to the edge as possible, and with the bigger ones it's really easy to get hung up on the edge. But I find if I take a smaller mulcher that's like this one on the 3-point link, much easier to control, and just rip around the outside of the field, it gives me a nice large band, and so I can come in with my bigger mulcher and let her rip and not get hung up on the hedges. So I don't usually do this until I've got well money ahead, so I can afford to have a mulcher specifically just to do this little bit. But now I will go ahead and do around all of our grass fields like this, and then come in with our big mulcher. Now, if you watch closely, you'll see our money is slowly dropping. That's because I have a worker doing the mowing. That's the other advantage of having those large fields like that. I can make a large enough area that it makes sense to set a worker off. So there's a worker actually mowing and baling while we're doing this. And our money did go down because I did upgrade to the quick bale, because I realized I also wanted to change the foil color, because that yellow doesn't really stand out on that new texture from the mowed grass. So I changed it to black. So I went to the quick bale, so now we're making silage at 25 kilometers an hour. So that's all I wanted to show you, just a little trick I do on a lot of my Let's Plays. Um, if I've got to deal with fences and that, is I'll go ahead and do that around the outside. Now I'm just going to leave this tractor sit here because like I said, I'll go do all our grass fields like that and our cornfield when it's done, and then I'll go ahead and mulch the big ones. So I am going to go and check and see if our silage is done. Well, let me put it this way. The next time you'll see me is when the silage is done, because that's the last thing I want to show in this episode. So we'll see you when our silage is fermented. Catch up with you then. Well, we're down here at the BGA at our bunker silo, and as you can see, it's open. It's done fermenting. Now, originally, I was going to use this belt system modified by Dr. Drulia, this one right here, to pick the silage up off the floor and throw it in the trailer. I've used it a lot for emptying bunker silos. It works excellent, but I have found something even more cheaty, and there's a tiny bit of a story here. But when I was doing the Calmlands challenge, I was looking for a bucket, front loader bucket, and I picked this Hauer silage bucket here, and I don't know why I particularly chose that one, but when I bought it and configured it, I found out it had an unrealistic mode on it. Of course, I'm not allowed to use that on Calmlands, and I had misread it as 10,000 liters. But when I had to muck out the cow pens, I remembered this bucket, but because it only has a front loader attacher, I thought, well, I'll throw it on this little drop nose Massey, nice and small. I could have used a small Velter too, but I really like this small drop nose Massey for bucket work, and that's what I'll use to muck out the pens. Well, come to find out, when I was doing that, it's not 10,000 liters, it's 100,000 liters that sucker will hold. So that actually worked out really good for the cow pens. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to bring this tractor down here and we're going to use it to pick up this silage and throw it in our BGA, because not only does it have a high capacity, but it actually does work really good at picking up products off the floor. The best bucket I've ever used for that. So, oh, that's lots. Oh, it's almost full. We need about, depending on the timing, between 50 and 70,000 liters to fill our BGA up. So we can do that with one scoop of the bucket, no problem at all. We'll dump it in here. So now I actually have two other buckets like this here on the farm, or on the map. I have one on my telehandler at the middle cow farm, and what I did is I used an adapter plate I found in the CZ pack, so that I could put it on a telehandler, and then I used that same adapter to put one on the Kubota skid steer that's at the pig farm, because remember I said I didn't think I could get in there and get the manure out of the pig barn. Well, I tried with this tractor, not even close. It's even tricky with the skid steer, but I can get it in there. So I use it at the pig farm, and then the cow farm across the road, the southern cow farm, is how I muck out the pens. And I'm going to leave this one sit down here for emptying out our PGA. And I also use it to move these trailers around, so this tractor is just going to sit down here. Now, while I was working on that, or waiting for this to ferment, I should say, I was working on that field that we had started. And on that one field alone, we got 1 million liters of grass sitting in bales waiting to ferment. But I did come across one little issue. If we look at the map here, of course it'd have to be something, wouldn't there? In these lines here that I said I couldn't be bothered to take out, guess who recognizes those, even though I painted grass over top? Seems like the darn workers do. So I don't know if it was just that one field we were in, but I may need to go and plow those little strips out and rescan them, and so I can get the worker to go across. At least that's what I think it was. But anyways, I am going to have to leave you there. I am going to carry on. I've already started, I'm working on mowing a field for grass right now. or for hay, I should say. So I'm going to get that done and get all our silage made up. And like I said, I think I won't see you till spring here, but I will keep track of how much grass we get. Obviously, you can tell I got traffic turned off right now because I'm walking down the middle of the road and not getting clobbered. So I will leave you there until spring, and when we can put our remaining custom crops in is what I'm thinking we'll do in that episode. So if you're still with me, really appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, I encourage you to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to see when other content like this lands, hit that old notification bell. But for this episode, here on BallySpring, it's Farmer Murphy signing off.